Top 10 Netflix Action Movies. If you enjoy watching movies on the internet, Netflix is the place to go, and I'm sure there's no going back once you become addicted to it. Hey guys, welcome to our one entertainment channel, Netflix Tops, where you'll watch the top 10s. So grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of this video. Sometimes you just need to get away from all of the hustle and bustle. You just want to watch things explode or collide. But Netflix always tries to convince you to watch a serious drama or document series. But don't worry, that's something we can assist you with. If you have a working Netflix subscription, here are some of the best options for seeing a great action film. Number 10. Released on the 25th of January 2014, Lucy became a massive box office success, grossing over $463 million, more than 11 times the budget of $40 million, and has a rating of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. Luc Besson wrote and directed the French science fiction action film Lucy. This film revolves around a student living in Taipei, Lucy, played by Scarlett Johansson. The movie starts when her boyfriend dupes her into working for his Korean gangster boss. Her job is to transport a new type of drug that was surgically implanted into her stomach, and ultimately, the packet rips in her stomach. Lucy is affected by the drug in such a way that she is able to use more than 10% of her brain capacity. This movie is a bit controversial, but still, if you have free time, it is worth watching. Number 9. In 2019, a Prime Cut Michael Bay production was released titled 6 Underground, leading to a stunning 83 million viewers tuned in to watch it. So if you are a fan of some classy action movies, then this movie will be right up your alley. What happens when you give an action-crazed lunatic like Michael Bay access to Netflix budget and runtime? This chaos. A film that no one would call great, not even the people who made it, but which certainly satisfies a craving for B-movie craziness on an A-movie budget. The film's tongue-in-cheek nature is its best feature, with the opening car chase almost playing like a parody of Bay's previous films. 6 Underground is about an eccentric billionaire played by Ryan Reynolds, who faked his own death to go underground and lead a team of similar mercenaries who can go off the grid and do the job that the world governments refuse to do. This mission is nothing less than a military coup, in a film that is clearly intended to be the start of a franchise. To do so, Bay will have to murder dozens of people in high-octane action scenes that are vaguely reminiscent of what he did in Bad Boys 2 and Transformers. Just be aware that nothing will be simple, that everything will involve explosions, and that the death toll will exceed 3 figures. Number 8. Directed by Ridley Scott, a gritty and entertaining throwback to the classic gangster films. American Gangster enjoys a score of 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, with its lead performers blowing the box office with a huge success. Ridley Scott directed this epic gangster film, which saw 2 of their generation's most charismatic actors collaborate on their first major project. No offense, Virtuosity fans, Denzel Washington portrays Frank Lucas, a legendary criminal who revolutionized the drug trade, while Russell Crowe portrays the detective who brought him down. Both men are fantastic, but this is a fantastic ensemble piece with a dozen or so character actors providing outstanding support. This movie centers on Frank Lucas establishing himself as the #1 heroin importer in Manhattan's Harlem district, following the death of his employer and mentor, Bumpy Johnson. He accomplishes this by purchasing heroin directly from the source in Southeast Asia and devising a novel method of bringing the drugs into the United States. It's also the story of Richie Roberts, a dedicated and honorable cop who leads a joint narcotics task force with the federal government. This film is based on a true story. Number 7. In early 2021, Zack Snyder took over the streaming services shortly after his 4-hour director's cut of Justice League hit HBO Max. The director released another stunning horror flick, The Army of the Dead. After that, it did not take long for The Army of the Dead to beat down the streamer's top-viewed films. The movie brought in a staggering 73 million viewers, with a 68% score of Rotten Tomatoes, placing it in the top half of Snyder's filmography. The U.S. military convoy transporting a mysterious payload from Area 51 kicks off the story. The vehicle carrying the payload collides head-on with a car carrying a couple of newlyweds. A zombie then emerges from the battered payload. Years after his breakthrough with a remake of George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, the divisive Zack Snyder returns to the world of zombie action, and the result is a bit of mindless undead fun. Dave Bautista plays the leader of a motley crew of ex-soldiers, tasked with breaking into the zombie-infested city of Las Vegas in order to recover millions stashed in a safe beneath the city. Number 6. Another major hit of the pandemic summer was the movie titled Old Guard, which hit Netflix in July 2020. The movie turned in 78 million viewers with its sterling 80% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Andy, played by Charlize Theron, appears to be another in a long line of tough action heroes, steely, determined, and not to be trifled with, while Andy resembles those previous roles on the surface. In Gina Prince's adaptation, By the Woods of Greg Ruckus's comic book, Theron becomes something far more fascinating. A tortured, godlike creature, an immortal who has spent centuries attempting to save humanity, but is beginning to wonder if it was all worth it. Theron hooks you in and doesn't let go. Number 5. We all are a low-key fan of Spider-Man. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. After assisting the Avengers in defeating Thanos, Peter Parker returns to high school in Spider-Man: Far From Home. We are all a low-key fan of Spider-Man. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. After assisting the Avengers in defeating Thanos, Peter Parker returns to high school in Spider-Man: Far From Home. Peter intends to tell MJ that he likes her during his school's upcoming science field trip to Europe. However, Nick Fury, the long-serving government official in charge of the Avengers, wants Spider-Man to assist a mysterious new superhero in preventing a giant fire creature from another universe from destroying Earth. Peter is hesitant, but Fury will not be deterred. The scene is set for a battle with a monster. However, a major plot twist occurs, revealing a new villain and forcing Peter to face a new deadly challenge on his own. Far From Home is a film with a strong moral and redemptive worldview that promotes truth, defeats deception, and saves lives while thanking God. Number 4. One of all-time worst-reviewed Marvel movies, Venom, may have an abominable 30% score on Rotten Tomatoes, but that did not stop audiences from flocking to see it. The bug-eyed Tom Hardy embodied the character in the corny 2018 standalone, which racked up an astonishing $864 million plus worldwide. Venom is the first film in Sony's Spider-Man universe, and it is based on the titular anti-hero of the same name, and it follows Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote as they battle Carlton Drake. The movie starts where Eddie Brock is a well-known journalist and reporter who, as he puts it, follows people who don't want to be followed. He comes across the Life Foundation and loses his entire career in an attempt to uncover allegations made against the foundation. Eddie is brought back to the foundation 6 months later by one of their top scientists, but during his visit, he encounters an alien known as a symbiote. The symbiote, Venom, chooses to attach and adapt to Eddie's body, but this gets Brock in trouble with Carlton Drake, the Life Foundation's leader. Eddie/Venom must stop Drake from completing his plan to turn all humans into full-fledged symbiotes. Number 3. Fast and Furious made fans all over the globe. However, the MPAA-rated Fast and Furious presents Hobbs & Shaw PG-13 for prolonged sequences of action and violence, suggestive material, and some strong language. Directed by David Leitch, the film scored 67% on Rotten Tomatoes and smashed the box office with $760 million. This standalone Fast and Furious film begins in London, England, and Haiti Shaw leading a team of MI6 agents into a warehouse to retrieve a deadly virus known as the Snowflake. The super-enhanced Brixton Lord discovers them. He can sense incoming attacks thanks to his cybernetic augmentation, allowing him to wipe the floor with other agents. Haiti injects the Snowflake into her right hand and flees Brixton's sight. He takes out a radio and pretends Haiti is a traitor who stole the virus for herself. In a nutshell, this movie is about a cybergenetically enhanced villain who threatens humanity's future. Lawman Luke Hobbs, a role played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and outcast Deckard Shaw, played by Jason Statham, form an unlikely alliance. Number 2. The Netflix smash hit Enola Holmes raked in 76 million viewers during the fall of 2020. The name of the movie is also one of Netflix's most critically acclaimed titles, with 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Enola Holmes is a 2020 mystery film based on Nancy Springer's first book in the same-named young adult fiction series. The plot revolves around the teenage sister of Sherlock Holmes, who travels to London in search of her missing mother, but ends up on a thrilling adventure, teaming up with a runaway lord to solve a mystery that threatens the entire country. Number 1. Released in the year 2012, director Christopher McGuire has created some fun action throughout a solidly constructed puzzle to solve in Jack Reacher. The movie, with a 63% score on Rotten Tomatoes, has raked in $218.3 million in the box office. Who doesn't know Tom Cruise? in this sequel, the movie starts when 5 seemingly unrelated people are shot by a sniper. The police investigate and find a former army sniper who has a history of shooting people in the streets while in the army. He tells his lawyer, Alex Roden, that all he wanted to do is find Jack Reacher, played by Tom Cruise. Reacher is revealed to be a former army criminal investigator. Reacher arrives after hearing the news. He learns that Roden wants him to assist her in defeating the man, but Reacher refuses. Reacher appears to have investigated the shootings he committed while in the army, but the army chose not to prosecute him. Reacher would come after him if he did it again. He warned the man. If Roden tries to look at the people he killed, Reacher agrees to look into it. Reacher goes over to tell her that the shootings were not the man's style. Someone is framing Reacher, he believes. As a result, he and Roden set out to discover why and who. We hope you liked the video. If so, hit the like button and share it with your loved ones. If you have any questions or comments, let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of our amazing videos. You can also watch our other videos suggested just for you. See you in the next video.